Hello there trainers, greetings, KuroBlitz here, and welcome back to another video on my channel. So today I decided to talk about a specific topic that it's been very tossed around for the latter week and so, and that's the farewell of Ash Ketchum as the main protagonist of the Pokémon anime series. After 25 years, almost 26, Ash will be finally gone as the main character of the series. He finally got his send-off in Pokémon Journeys, however he will have his own mini-series with Mesase Pokémon Master that's going to broadcast their first episode on January 13, Friday the 13th, funny enough. It's going to be an episode with a Latias, apparently. And it's going to have like a special episode 0 special preview broadcast on January 6th. So there's that. And yeah, they're finally pulling the plug on Ash. And I really hope that, for the next series, they actually, if you are to cut the strings on Ash, do it with everything. Don't try to make, callbacks to Ash, because if he always is to be called back or nostalgia or return or even be in movies, it will always dilute the value of his farewell. I cannot miss someone who never truly leaves. And for average Pokemon fans, they will never know the difference between, AU Ash and mainline Ash, right? So it would just be confusing from that standpoint. And I guess that, the special that he got, the Distant Blue Sky, maybe Ash is that distant blue sky, allegedly. Like, he has patron birds in Lugia and Oo, for Christ's sakes. So there's that. So I guess that, his final movie would be Coco. And we don't know if we are going to get a movie next year or not. Realistically, because it's the Worlds in Yokohama and it's the 25 years of the Mewtwo movie, I wouldn't mind if Go was the protagonist of a movie, but maybe, I don't know. But we don't have Pikachu anymore, or we will not have Pikachu anymore in the protagonist role, so maybe they are really testing the waters to make Ash leave. We don't know, like, the possibilities are truly endless, like, because now that they are cutting the chains on Ash, this new anime, which I will talk about on a later video, they have no boundaries or no limits. They can basically do whatever the hell they want, right? And there's some beauty in it, but there's also, some risk. And it's not the risk of creativity, it's the risk of, if they are always trying to, call back to Ash. I would believe that they should do like what Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal or Digimon Tamers did, be in their own separate universe, because that way you don't have to adhere to past stuff. Journeys, they try to tell a story with some elements of Galar and Go and Chloe present too, but realistically, people say that, they devalued Ash's battles. I will say it's the exact contrary. Ash's presence basically screwed up Journeys, because what they are doing with Liko and Roy, it's what they could have done with Go and Chloe. Like, divorcing themselves from the games, characters being extras, Team Rocket not being that much present. I'm going to reference that on a later future. But yeah, if Ash had his epilogue after Alola, and imagine, for example, that, we get an episode with Leon, right? It's just, a reference to Galar. An episode Journeys 112 after the Mon return, like that final battle with Kukui, right, in the Battle Royale. Imagine if that was, the true epilogue for Alola and the finale for Ash, right? Like, leave it open-ended with, Tapu Koko blessing the guy. The fact that the guardian deity of war and conflict is the one praying for your victory, it's just, great. But, the guy met Ho-Oh in Journeys, so whatever. But here's the problem now, because now this epilogue, this mini-series, it has 11 episodes. Just to put this in context, the Team Plasma arc in Best Wishes, it was 14 episodes. And Decolor Islands was 22, so it was 36 total. 36 episodes, it's the length of Orange Islands. It's 8 to 9 months. And Ash only having one season for a true farewell, it's like they are trying to cushion the blow. At least to me. They're trying to, do damage control, because Journeys couldn't deliver on the goodbye to Ash, so this mini-series that will be incorporated into the actual Season 25 finale of TPCI, it really feels like damage control, and people are banking on this to the highest degree. It's like Adventures in Unova and beyond. This is what this mini-series looks like, you know, Ultimate Journeys and beyond. It's like a hidden Season 4 or Season 3.5, which is kind of funny because AU Ash got 3.5 movies, allegedly, right? Distant Blue Sky is just a special, but it's not a special to the length of Mewtwo Returns or The Legend of Thunder, even though it should have, you know, a 3-part special. And people are saying, oh, this was a scrapped movie, and I'm like, all movies have legendaries. The only legendary that you could put on this particular Ash, which I already talked about in my Distant Blue Sky review, it would be Enamorous. But that would be an ass pull. It would be like a super stretch thing to do. But besides that nonsense, many people, and I understand, they don't want for Ash to leave, and they wanted for Ash to be in Paldea, and I get it, because Paldea was, you know, very adhering to Ash, and also to Go and Chloe to an extent. But I feel, and this is me, right? I always advocated that the anime should always expand on what the games offer and do more with it. But this was, you know, in a time where we never had web series, we never had, you know, Amazon specials, we never had Master ZX for site promotion. Now that we have site promotion, like, you know, with Origins and the Black and White True trailer and Evolutions and Generations, Hisuian Snow being a prequel to Legends Arceus, and Twilight Wings being the Galar series, quote unquote, they don't have the same attachments. And I honestly feel, and this is a retrospective because, you know, I was a teenager and a kid at a time, you know, now with adulthood I kinda understand it a little bit better. When I wanted for game plots to happen in the anime, for them to expand upon, it's because I always saw the anime as this, you know, this medium where they are not chained or limited. But now that we have other mediums, we don't need the anime to basically adhere to that full-heartedly anymore. For example, I always wanted for Emma, right? Emma, the X and Y girl from the post-game, to be in X and Y, and more of the plot for the ultimate weapon. And we don't need that anymore because, you know, we got Generation 6 years ago giving that animated story, right? And even Emma, it's now helping Diantha and Mega Diancie, the shiny one, in the villain event of Kalos in the mobile game. So that's the avenue that they are tackling, right? Even back then, if Best Wishes wasn't a reboot of the anime, a soft one at that, if they adhered to the idea that Ash's farewell would have been, you know, in 2013 with the TPCI's 15th anniversary, right? It would have made the Origins with Red more impactful because, yeah, this is really Ash's farewell. With other protags in those side projects, they were trying to, you know, wet the toes in the water in terms of a new protagonist, and after a decade they finally took the full dive with it. And I think it would have been cool because we had Team Rocket back then, we had Mewtwo, so they could have ended Giovanni in that way, and maybe Ash could have had, you know, imagine for example that, you know, Ash would have gotten a Samurott back then, and maybe Samurott could get like an Ash Greninja form with Hisui and Samurott and being part dark, because that way Ash would get, you know, Sceptile, Infernape, and Samurott, right? The recent three. Torterra being a little bit in the background, but whatever. And, you know, Charizard leading Bulbasaur and Squirtle, and maybe Ash would get Feraligatr to lead Bayleaf and, you know, Quilava, like Feraligatr training with, you know, Crocodile and Samurott, and basically Ash would get, you know, the Lizard trio with Charizard, Feraligatr, and Sceptile, and, you know, the other trio with, you know, Torterra, Infernape, and Samurott, right? Basically the Game Boy trio and the Nintendo DS trio. Because that way Ash back then could have ended his tenure, you know, at the age of 15, 16. Imagine, for example, that in the beginning of Best Wishes, they say that Ash is 15 and by the end of it he's 16. So yeah, he's 16. He's been with us. He's 16 years old, and that's, you know, the age that the anime had back then, right? Charizard returning to defeat Team Plasma, and that's what I wanted back then. I know that I'm going on a tangent, but if they didn't reboot Ash and they made Ash face his ideologies as a trainer against N and Team Plasma, it would have been a great ending for him with, you know, allying with Zekrom and whatever. And that way he could have battled the World Tournament of Black and White 2 there. We wouldn't needed a Decolor Islands. The returns would have been there. He would have battled Lance, Steven, and Cynthia. You know, he's in a foreign land where he's the only familiar face, right? So yeah, he could have, you know, do that, face the champions of his nation in foreign land. I think that would have been a cool concept, because that way he could have, you know, defeated Anne, could have prompted a battle with Alder that could have ended in a tie, and, you know, that way Alder retires, and then you get Iris, you know, going to the champion status, so that way Ash is aiming for a champion that his rival, Trip, also admires, and we could have more with Sharon in the Black and White 2 plot as well, and it's basically Ash aiming for a champion while mentoring a future one. That could have been cool. Ash could have, like, realistically, Ash could have always had a finale in every series, but I think it would have been cool if he had, you know, either in AG with being a Frontier Brain or in Best Wishes, if, you know, the retooling, like, I know many people like the idea of DP or X and Y being the ending, but, you know, it feels like very open, and I like open endings, don't get me wrong, but it feels like, you know, it feels rush, you know, it just feels weird. But now that he's gone, he will get an epilogue series with 11 episodes, and we are going to get the Mesase Pokemon Masters with my friends opening, and I really hope that this is, you know, like, it's going to be synced by Rinka Matsumoto, and I really hope that, you know, the vocal cast for the next series, I don't want for anyone from this cast to basically go there, because if we listen to their voices, we will not really miss them, right? So change the opening, change the voices of the characters, you know, start completely fresh and new, okay? But I will discuss that on a later topic, in a later video as well. But yeah, Ash is going to be gone. I'm going to miss the guy. I want for him to leave for, you know, a while, but it's from a place of caring. I prefer for his journey to end well, with a big asterisk attached to it, than continue suffering. People wanted for him to be in Paldea. So do I, kinda. Because Ash gained his champion titles via loopholes. He became the champion of Alola because there was no league, and he became the champion of the world because the tournament was called the World Championships. If the PWC was, you know, the trainer playoffs or whatever, no one would really care, right? Even in the Orange Islands, he faced Drake, but he became a Hall of Famer. He became an honored trainer. The Orange League in Japan, it's not called the Orange League, it's called the Southern Cross. Drake, it's called the Supreme Gym Leader. So there's that, right? But yeah, now with these, you know, 11 epilogue episodes, if you go to see, you know, the Japanese titles for the series, you get Pocket Monsters episode Indigo League, Pocket Monsters episode Orange Islands, Pocket Monsters episode Gold and Silver, Advanced Generation, Diamond and Pearl, Best Wishes Season 2, X and Y, X, Y and Z, Sun and Moon, and 2019. You get 11 Japanese series, right? And even if you don't consider the series, you can at least consider, you know, the sagas, you know? Kanto from Alola, it's 7, Journeys is 8, Orange, Battle Frontier, and Decolor are 11. I don't know what they are going to do with the ending for the epilogue. I feel it would be cool if, you know, every epilogue episode had, you know, an ending from the original series, because now we have the best of best album of 25 years. So I feel like they could do it. And I feel it would be cool if, you know, every episode tackled a true epilogue for every series, and around the episode we listen to bits and pieces of old OSTs and BGMs, and every episode would get their final opening as a callback to the other ones. Like, for example, in the AG epilogue we get Because the Sky is There, right? Maybe in the Best Wishes epilogue we get the Seven Colored Arc or something. And it's going to be interesting because Best Wishes and X and Y, they would get 2 episodes. Unova and Kalos would get 2 episodes. I don't think I really would like to believe that Pokemon would spend their money to have Mamoru Miyano and Kaori return as Silent and May for one final time. But it is what it is, we shall see, right? They get visual cameos, so I digress. Kalos would get 2. Kalos would get 2 episodes, if that's the case. I guess that one of them would be the trio, and the other would be Serene, and the other would be Greninja. So the trio, it's X and Y finale, Greninja would be X and Y and Z finale. But that's the thing, we don't know. And many people are banking on these 11 episodes as if this was Journeys 2, and I'm like, you guys have to be cautious. Journeys didn't do the fanfic fuel that you wanted for these 3 years. What makes you believe that the epilogue is going to do this for these 3 months? 3 months of decency will not redeem or salvage 3 years of utter mediocrity. People need to get this in their heads, okay? And with the Journeys episodes and the Arceus specials, we get 151 total for this generation. So yay, I guess. And we do see Misty and Brock, and I like the idea that he travels with Misty and Brock again, and Misty is going to meet Krogan, so maybe they do like the poison jab gag and the ear pull gag at the same time, I don't know. Misty and Brock going to the other regions, it's an interesting idea, but we have a World Tour series and Journeys. If you World Tour in the epilogue, and then you World Tour with, the new series, it's a mess. I would prefer if everyone was to go to Palette. Everyone returns for Ash. It's Ash's farewell. Do an epilogue series where everyone is in Palette celebrating, Instead of Ash going to everyone, everyone comes to him. Because Dawn, Clement, and Bonnie are the only characters who were never in Kanto in any way, shape, or form. So, it would have been nice if they did it, If you want to say farewell to this, just do the farewell where it all started, in Masada Town, right? But I digress. And it's not only the ending of Ash, it's also of Team Rocket, because Team Rocket now has a good reason to, go chase down Pikachu. And not only Team Rocket, as in Jesse, James, and Meowth, but also, the whole trio. I would like for them to reunite with Arbok and Weezing because it's their starters, but that means they would have to go to not Unova, they would have to go to Hoenn. I feel like that could be a good moment as a final montage moment, like how Ash reunited with Butterfree in the last Journeys episode. I feel like that could have been done, like, you have a montage of Team Rocket moments in the final episode, like the juicy bonus, it's 10 plus 1, right? Maybe you could have, like, them being there, and then they go to Alola, have like montage of the characters going around the world. Maybe they meet Go and Chloe in, in the final montage, right? And I know many people want an epilogue movie next year, and I get it, because Rika Matsumoto will turn 55, so people want the last Narutoshi the movie, or they want Serena to be Hinata, essentially. But Pokemon and Naruto is a singularity series. Everyone goes together for world peace. Ash inspires people, but he never became, the trainer monarch. Even the whole thing about being a Pokemon master, it's always very loose, and maybe we'll never get an answer, right? I would like for him to battle Lance, but that's just me. Everyone has their own ideas and headcanons that they want to see manifested, and that's the problem Journey's got. Everyone wanted things to happen, and they didn't happen their own way, so they either praised or trashed, or, they always were against, groups of people because things didn't went their own way. And it's a series that tried to appeal to everybody, and it appealed nobody at the same time. And it's because Ash was present. He was the linchpin. He was the artifact. If Journeys was just Go and Chloe going around the world and meeting people we know because they travel with Ash, Ash was the wrench in Journeys. Like, his presence really... Because look at Go and Chloe. They are Kanto OCs, just like him. They could travel Kanto in a new way that he didn't in Indigo or Battle Frontiers. So it's a whole new era, which it would kind of make more sense from a continuity standpoint, because Ash doesn't know what a smartphone is, and Go doesn't know what a phone booth is, and Go's dad had the same Pokédex as Ash's apparently. But oh well, what's done, it's done. We can fix it. We can just, look into the future. And let's be real here. We need to finish Team Rocket, but Giovanni, essentially, disband the organization, because now that Butch and Cassidy are gone, the Matori Matrix haven't doing anything. We never got the admins from the games. We never got Silver. Most likely Paul, being a gym leader, it's now the gym leader of the tower in Vermilion, or he's going to feel like the gym leader role in Viridian, because he's the rival, like Gary. He's Silver, like Giovanni's son, so he could be, a multi-type gym leader in Viridian. That way he could be Brandon's neighbor, right? Because the Battle Frontier is in Kanto. And Fennel Valley, it's by the Tojo Falls, it's by the Indigo League, right? By the Indigo Plateau. He could also be a ground gym leader, because Torterra, Nidoking, Garchomp, Gastrodon, Gliscor, and the Eviolite Ursaring, right? To not be an Ursaluna, but be an Ursaluna in a way. Even though his Ursaring has fighting moves. Maybe that's his stereotype, we don't know. But yeah, they could do that. But for Giovanni, I think they are going to pull a red from Origins. Because we had Pikachu and Persian just, clash one move at each other at the time. And... it really didn't do anything, but we got Operation Tempest, a decade ago. I feel like Pikachu needs to either A, reuse Static again in battle, or B, finally learn Extreme Speed. Because the final battle against Leon, it was a good finality for Pikachu with Pika Papao, but not a good finality for Ash. And I feel like Ash truly needs one final battle, and it's not the, oh, Giovanni is his dad. None of that BS. None of that BS. I feel like Ash just needs to, Jesse and James ask for his help in the headquarters. They basically try to Red Ribbon Army the heck out of that. And when he battles Giovanni, maybe have, Giovanni's Persian sweep his entire team, like how Rhyhorn did with Reds and Origins, and maybe Persian ties with Lucario. Maybe Lucario, does a reversal on Persian, they double KO. The final battle for Angst, right, would be Pikachu against Kangaskhan, and that Kangaskhan could maybe be the one that raised Pikachu just for the angst of it. Maybe that Kangaskhan Mega Evolves, and that way Ash battles the Ilima that he never battled realistically. I don't know. I don't know what they might do, right? And we don't know what the future might hold for us. For all we know, since Journeys began with Pichu becoming the Pikachu we know and love, maybe if you want to cut the ties on Ash and Pikachu, maybe Pikachu becomes too powerful to the point that he needs to evolve to not basically self-implode himself. Maybe in the end we get Raichu. We don't know. They can do whatever the hell they want, realistically. These 11 episodes, it's not they are going to be crucial, because every episode of the Pokemon anime, it's crucial for, Ash and whatever. Like, he will meet Latias, maybe Lance will have a Latios if, because Lance defeated Kukui in the games, and Kukui states that, he wants for every island pilgrimage champion to become world champion, so, Ash's last 6 years of plot, it's just because of one line from the video games. And if you see Alola and Journeys only, from a perspective of a kid, if this kid only sees Sun and Moon and PM 2019, and they only see Ash's past as, background set pieces, and they go to see rewatch on Pokemon TV or Amazon or whatever, they don't need to see the other shows to basically, you know, because Journeys adheres to the past, but not fully, but they make a big deal out of Alola, because Daiki Tomiyasu was the episode director, and then he was promoted to series director, and now he's demoted to episode director again. That's the one thing. I want for the new series to have a whole new staff, okay? Because if the... Like, here's the thing. The staff will always be the same. People like to throw this fallacy of Journeys writers. No, the writers are the same. Tomioka is still there. Iwane is still drawing this. But they are fatigued after almost 3 decades. They need a fresh start. And with Ash, they always feel shackled to, you know, do a series with the old habits and bad mannerisms that the anime always had and suffered. So we need new executives on the helm. The writers can be there, or maybe they can retire because they hired new writers in the beginning of 2022. So most likely they knew that Ash was going to have his send-off when the Masters 8 started, which parallels how Rika Matsumoto only knew that Ash was going to win the day the Alola League started. So she only knew that 2.5 months prior, because that's how the industry works. You have 1 year to make 1 batch of episodes, right? Like a core, like a 10 to 13 episode core, right? So there's that. So they were most likely doing this since the opening change with Journeys 100. But yeah, cut the ties on Ash, cut the ties on everyone, cut the ties on Team Rocket and whatever more, and give everyone, you know, I'm not going to say give everyone a happy ending, but, you know, give them an ending, you know, a proper ending, give them closure. Maybe in the final episode, we don't know if they will time skip or not. We don't know what's the setting of the next series. I think it would be cool if they do, like, you know, in the final montage, we have like a time skip of, you know, Bonnie battling Max, right? You know, because they are now of age to be trainers. Many people ask this, why aren't they the new protagonists? Because they're still very bound to Ash. Same thing with Lei, you know, Kukui's son. Because if you have everyone connected to Ash, that's a lot of pressure and expectations. And if they win or lose, they still have, you know, the Satoshi factor there, right? But that's it. But that's basically it. Thank you, Ash Ketchum. I hope that you finally explain what a Pokemon Master is, because it's the titular series, right? Or at least you explain what you feel it is. I hope, you know, you get... Even Leon, like, Leon got the Battle Tower outfit, but Leon never got a closure. I would like for, you know, Leon to get, you know, the Galarian Star Tournament closure. Maybe you can do, like, little cameos here and there of the Galar cast. Whatever, I don't know. I don't know what they might do. I hope the epilogue starts with Ash's Gengar battling a random Nidorino, just for full circle thing. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to do another video that's going to be, you know, for my thoughts, opinions, and hopes for, you know, the next series, you know, PM 2023, Scarlet and Violet, right? Which will be Paldea and beyond. We know this because of Rayquaza. So make sure to, you know, stick around and tune in for that. Let me know in the comments what you want to see Ash do, fantasy or realistically, in these final episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Farewell.